Zero Day War is a 2 to 4 player hacking card game. Each player represents a hacker from one of the 4 planets, each intent on taking advantage of the SysNet security malfunction and steal every file they can before the security protocols re-engage. To start, shuffle the file deck and set up the SysNet core into a 2x2 grid. Then shuffle the exploit cards and deal each player 5 cards. If a player receives an overclock card, shuffle it back into the deck and redraw another exploit card. Each player also receives 15 countdown cubes of their color. They will also receive a planet card that gives them additional bonuses to certain file types. In a 2 to 3 player game, the first player is the planet closest to the sun. In a 4 player game, the player receives the Earth card, receives a starting score of 6 points, and the player to the left is the first player. There are 15 types of exploits at your disposal, from a simple level 1 hack to the devastating file-destroying nuke. Each exploit has a unique function that will aid the player and/or hinder their opponents. Hack cards in particular will have arrows on them that indicate which card they're hacking. When players hack files, they're not hacking the file they place the exploit card under. For example, when placing the exploit underneath the Venus transportation file, it is hacking the Mars military file when the exploit is activated. Each game is 3 cycles long. Each cycle consists of 2 turns. For 2 to 3 players, the maximum size of the SysNet is a 3x3 grid. For 4 players, the maximum size will be a 4x4 grid. To play cycle, players place 2 files into the SysNet grid, and then play 2 exploit cards. Followed by drawing 2 exploit cards to bring their hand back to 5. If a player draws an overclock card, it must be played at that moment. Starting with the player who drew the overclock card, remove 1 countdown cube from every exploit in the SysNet. If an exploit reaches 0, it is activated and resolved then. After all players' first turn, it is mid-cycle processing. Remove 1 countdown cube from every exploit. If an exploit reaches 0 countdown cubes, it activates right then. If multiple exploits activate, always start with the first player and then resolve the active exploits in turn order. The second turn is a repeat of the first cycle, except it ends with cycle resolution. Cycle resolution activates all the exploits in the SysNet. The first player's exploits always activates first. This is repeated for each player in turn. Put all used or destroyed exploits in the discard pile. Resolve the effects of all hacked files. If a file is hacked with exploit cards underneath it, those exploits are destroyed and placed in the discard pile. After all the exploits with the least amount of countdown cubes have been activated, activate the next group of exploits. Repeat this until there are no exploits left to activate. The hacker with the most points wins. In the case of a tie, the hacker with the most files wins.
Thank you for using the SysNet. 4 worlds, 1 system.